This is a mysterious case of a missing person from South Dakota where a teacher vanished without a trace after she got into an argument with her boyfriend. It was December 2016 and 31-year-old Joleesa Lindsay had just finished her shift at work. She worked as a 6th grade math teacher at George Washington Middle School in Chamberlain, South Dakota. For those who don't know, Chamberlain sits on the Missouri River about an hour and a half away from Sioux Falls. It's not exactly the most bustling place. So when something happened to Miss Lindsay, it was a big deal. On this particular day, surveillance footage shows her leaving the school at 4:30 p.m. She got into an altercation with her live-in boyfriend, Nicholas Grunau, who was also a teacher at the school. The police report says that the fight was over a cell phone. If that's true, that's stupid. Don't get physical over a cell phone. That's like arguing over who has the better Pokemon card. After the fight, Joleesa left the home they shared and went for a drive. She was never seen again. Over the next few days, her family tried to contact her, but she wasn't answering her phone. This was out of character. She would call her mom every day. So, they began to get worried. On December 12th, 4 days after she went missing, her mother reported her missing to the police. Officers went to the house she shared with Grunwald and found his car. But they couldn't find Joleesa or her car. They did, however, notice something very strange. All of the windows in the house had been boarded up. And I don't mean like, construction-grade plywood. I mean, they had been covered with 1/4 inch hardboard, the kind of thing you would use to make a bulletin board. Why he would do this, I have no idea. If I had to guess, maybe he thought it would keep the milk carton people out of my house. When officers asked Grunau what happened to Joleesa, he told them that he and Joleesa had gotten into an argument and she stormed off. But she had left behind a cell phone and a wallet, which doesn't really sound like Joleesa. When the police searched the house, they found some blood in the bathroom. Grunau said that Joleesa had cut herself shaving. He also said that he hadn't seen her for 2 weeks. Well, that didn't sound right either because there was still food in the fridge and the couple's Christmas tree was still up. And if that wasn't enough, the officers noticed something else very disturbing, like dozens of zip ties and some handcuffs. Yeah, those are not standard issue teacher accessories. But why would they ask Grunau any more questions? He was clearly a sociopath. The police were suspicious of him from the beginning. In fact, they brought in a cadaver dog, and the dog gave a positive alert in the bedroom. The officers also noticed that Grunau had recently taken out a large life insurance policy on Joleesa. He took out the policy on November, 16 days before she disappeared. But he hadn't even known her for a year. I don't think you can get life insurance on someone unless you're remarried to them or something. When they brought Grunwald in for questioning, he started to crack. He confessed that he and Joleesa had gotten into an argument and he shoved her. I guess that's where the blood came from. Then she ran out of the house. That part makes sense. But then he said that she ran away from home and that he hasn't seen her since. So she disappeared and then she ran away from home. I wish people could be less stupid. The police didn't buy it. He changed his story multiple times and he kept bringing up details that weren't quite right. The cops let him go after the first round of questioning. He must have gotten bored of being questioned because he packed up and he moved to Florida. Okay, now listen, I'm no lawyer, but if you're a suspect in a missing persons investigation and you start moving around, you're gonna attract even more attention to yourself. Kind of seemed like Grunwald knew that Joleesa was dead, and he was trying to make himself scarce. Just a thought, you know. Just throwing that up there. Joleesa's car turned up 2 weeks later, parked at a motel near Chamberlain. But still no sign of Joleesa. Her family never gave up hope. They put up billboards and handed out flyers. Anything to keep her in the public eye. Anything to bring her home. In January 2017, someone came forward and told the police that they had seen Joleesa at a casino in South Dakota after she disappeared. Now, look, I love a good casino story as much as the next guy. But come on, there are casinos everywhere. There are hundreds of them in my state alone. Do you know how many slot machines South Dakota has for every person? One for every 27.5 people. How are we supposed to find her when there are so many distractions? I mean, it's like trying to stop an alcoholic from drinking when they're in Las Vegas. That tip turned out to be a dud. And over the years, there were other leads that went nowhere. Then in 2020, 3 years after Joleesa went missing, her family was given a break. A woman called the police and told them that she had new information. She said that back in 2016, she was at a bar and she heard some fishermen talking. They said that they had seen Joleesa's body floating in the river not long after she disappeared. They also said that they reported it to the police right away. If that's true, why didn't they come forward sooner? Who knows? Listen, I don't want to sit here and armchair quarterback these guys. It sounds to me like they did the right thing. I don't drink. I don't gamble. I don't fish. I have nothing in common with these guys. Maybe they were scared of getting involved. I don't know. All I know is that this information should have come in handy. Maybe it would have led to the recovery of Joleesa's body. Maybe they could have proved that she was dead or alive. Maybe they could have charged Grunow with murder instead of wasting all of that time chasing down bad tips. Police spent months searching the area where the men said they saw the body, but they never found anything. So the case went cold once again. As far as Grunow, well, he lived out the remainder of his life in Florida. I looked him up on social media and found out that he's still there. I almost felt bad for him until I read what he was posting. Grunow was posting pictures of fishing trips, hunting trips, vacations with his family and friends. Just your typical happy life. Except there was one little detail that he kept mentioning in his posts. He said he was thinking of Joleesa, not saying that he killed her. He was just thinking about her. Like that doesn't sit right with me. Do you think that Grunow is guilty? Let me know in the comments below. If you want to see another case from South Dakota, then check out the playlist. Also, please consider supporting us on a platform. We are slowly rebuilding after the pandemic, and we need your help. Before you go, I want you to take a moment to look around. There are things in this room that I have never told you about. Things that nobody knows about. And I want you to try to figure out what they are. Go ahead, take your time. What do you see? You probably caught the easy ones, right? The fake cloud, the hypnotic clock, the one with easy pickings. But there's something else, something really personal to me. I've never told any of you this before, but there's a hidden message in this video. I planted it in there as a joke, but nobody ever found it. So I'll tell you how it works. First, you're going to have to watch this video. But this time you need to look at the timestamps. The numbers on the screen will spell out a word, and that word will be open. I'll give you an example. Let's say the timestamp is for minutes and 32 seconds. I would write down the fourth letter of the alphabet, D, and the 32nd letter of the alphabet. Put those together and you get doctor. I'll give you another example. Let's say the timestamp was 9 minutes and 15 seconds. I would write down the 9th letter of the alphabet, W, and the 15th letter of the alphabet, O. Put those together and you get WO. See how that works? Okay. Now go back and start looking at the timestamps and see if you can figure out what the hidden message is. Go on. I'll wait. Did you figure it out? I hope you did. And if you want to know the answer, leave me a comment. But please, please don't tell anyone else. Keep it our little secret.